People always said that Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban balanced each other. Her ice, his warmth. Her composure, his chaos. Her restraint, his heart on his sleeve. But the truth was simpler and uglier. They were two people who learned to hold their breath for the sake of peace. And one night, they finally exhaled, and everything broke. The fight started over something stupid. They would both admit that later. A misplaced script, a missed call, a careless comment. It doesn't matter, because the real explosion had nothing to do with the trigger. It had everything to do with the years of silence underneath it. Nicole stood in the kitchen, clutching a cup of tea she didn't want, while Keith paced in front of the island like a storm that didn't know where to land. "You can't keep shutting down," he said. He wasn't yelling. His voice was too cracked for yelling. "I'm not shutting down," she replied. Too cold, too steady. "That right there," he snapped, pointing at her. "That tone, like you're above feeling anything." "I feel plenty," she said softly. "Exactly," he said. "You feel everything, but you tell me nothing." Nicole looked away. Keith's chest rose and fell fast. "Tell me why you didn't answer my call tonight." "I was tired," she said. "You're always tired." "I'm allowed to be." "That's not what I mean." She set the cup down very gently. "Then say what you mean." He stopped pacing. And for the first time that night, he didn't look angry. He looked hurt. You don't survive marriage with Keith Urban without learning to recognize that exact expression, the quiet devastation he desperately tries to hide. He whispered, "You didn't answer because you didn't want me." Nicole froze. He continued, "You didn't answer because you didn't want me." Nicole swallowed hard. "Keith, that's not—" "You've been leaving this marriage 1 hour at a time," he said, voice trembling. "And I've been pretending not to notice." Nicole clenched her jaw. "Don't do that," she said sharply. "Do what?" "Put words in my mouth." "Then use your own." For a moment, neither spoke. The air between them pulsed, thick, electric, exhausted. Then Nicole said quietly, "You think I'm leaving you." "I don't think it. I feel it. Every time you turn away, every time you say you're fine when you're not, every time you look through me instead of at me." Her breath caught in her chest. "And what," she asked softly, "about all the ways you leave me?" Keith blinked. "I'm right here." "No," she said. "You're everywhere but here." He shook his head. "That's not fair." "It's true." "No," he repeated. "Nick, I have been holding this marriage together with my bare hands for years." "And I haven't," she shot back. "You've been holding yourself together," he said. "There's a difference." Her voice dropped to a near whisper. "I didn't realize you hated the way I survive." He closed his eyes. "That's not what I said. That's what you meant." He leaned on the counter, shoulders trembling. "You twist everything. You minimize everything. You shut down. You explode. You hide from me. You smother me." They stared at each other, breathing hard. Two people who had spent years shielding each other from the truth finally letting the shields fall. Nicole spoke first. "And what exactly do you want from me?" He didn't hesitate. "Honesty." She laughed, a short, bitter sound. "I give you honesty." "No," he said. "You give me curated honesty, edited honesty, the version of truth you think is safest for us." "And what do you give me?" Keith didn't flinch. "I give you all of me." "That's the problem," she whispered. His face twisted. "What does that mean?" "It means I can't breathe under the weight of your emotions every day. He recoiled as if she'd slapped him. Nicole continued, voice shaking now. You expect me to absorb your pain, to soothe your fears, to validate your insecurities, to fix you every time you fall apart. But when I break, she looked at him with eyes full of something between anger and grief. You call it shutting down. He stared at her like he was seeing her for the first time. Is that really what you think of me? She whispered, sometimes. Keith took a shaky step back. God, he said, voice cracking, you have no idea how deeply that hurts. And you have no idea how exhausting it is to always hold the center. Silence again. Not calm silence, not peaceful silence. The kind of silence where two people realize they're not fighting about tonight. They're fighting about every night that came before. Keith whispered, I miss you. Nicole whispered back, I miss myself. Those two sentences hit the air at the same time and collided. Neither knew which was more devastating. Keith took a breath that sounded like it cut him on the way in. Then he said something he had been holding for years. I feel like I love you more than you love me. Nicole froze. Her eyes softened. And she whispered painfully, feel like you need me more than you see me. That was it. The truth neither of them wanted to say, the truth both of them had been quietly suffocating under. Two different wounds, two different fears, two different versions of the same marriage.
Keith's voice dropped to a hoarse whisper. So, what do we do with that? Nicole's reply was barely audible. I don't know. They stood there, not touching, not breathing, not blinking, pretending the house around them wasn't collapsing, pretending their carefully curated peace hadn't finally shattered, pretending they hadn't just crossed the line they could never uncross. And then something happened that neither of them expected. Keith stepped back, and Nicole didn't step forward. For the first time in 19 years, she didn't reach for him. His face fell, her eyes filled, and the distance between them became more real than the marriage itself. Nicole didn't move. Keith didn't breathe. Silence pressed on both of them like hands around their throats. Finally, he whispered, "Say something. Anything." She opened her mouth, closed it, then said the one sentence he feared more than infidelity, more than betrayal, more than any secret the tabloids could invent. "I don't know if who we are together is good for who we are alone." Keith felt the floor tilt under him. "Are you saying you want to leave?" "No," she said. "I'm saying I don't know what staying means anymore." He dragged a hand through his hair. "So that's it? After everything we've been through, you don't know?" "Don't twist my words." Keith's voice cracked. "I'm not twisting anything. I'm holding on to whatever pieces of us still exist." Nicole looked at him, really looked at him, and something inside her snapped. "Do you have any idea how hard it is to love someone who demands your entire emotional bloodstream just to feel safe for one day?" Keith blinked. The hit landed. Hard. "Is that what you are to me? A burden?" "No," she whispered. "Just heavy."
The silence that followed was the kind people don't come back from. Keith took a shaky breath. "Then tell me, Nicole," he said. "What exactly do you need?" For a moment, she couldn't speak. then. I need space to feel things without you telling me how I should feel them. He froze. I do not. You do, she cut in. When I'm sad, you decide I'm overwhelmed. When I'm quiet, you decide I'm shutting down. When I'm angry, you decide I'm projecting. When I'm confused, you decide I'm broken. Keith's face fell. Because I know you, he said softly, better than anyone. No, Nicole said, voice trembling. You know the version of me you built. The one who fights in your key, cries in your rhythm, heals on your schedule. Keith stepped back like she'd slapped him. That's cruel. That's true. He swallowed hard. You want truth? He said. Fine. Here's the truth you never want to hear. His voice dropped. You choose distance over conflict. Her jaw clenched. And you, she said, choose conflict to avoid distance. They stared at each other, raw, unguarded, bleeding. Keith whispered, You're not the woman I married. Nicole whispered back, And you're not the man I promised myself to. Something broke in the air. The ceiling didn't crack, the lights didn't flicker, but the marriage made a sound only two people could hear. A soft, final snap. Keith looked at her like he was watching his world dissolve. I've been trying so damn hard, he said. Why isn't it enough? Because, she whispered, you're trying to fix me instead of love me. He shook his head violently. That's not true. You need me broken, she said.
No, I don't. You need me quiet. Nick, you need me grateful. Stop it. You need me to be the woman who saved you once so you don't have to save yourself now. Keith slammed his hands on the counter. The sound echoed like a gunshot. Nicole flinched. He saw it, and everything inside him shattered. I would never hurt you, he whispered, hoarse. I know, she said softly, but she didn't move toward him. She kept the distance. That distance was the cruelest thing she could offer. Keith's voice shook as he whispered, Do you love me? Nicole's breath caught. I don't know how to answer that right now. The silence after that was lethal. Keith took a step back, then another. Then he said the sentence she would replay in her head for months. Then maybe we've been lying to each other for a very long time. Nicole's eyes filled with tears. She opened her mouth, but Keith spoke first, and what he said changed everything. I didn't relapse. I wanted to. Nicole went still. Keith looked at her with eyes full of shame. The night you think I was away, writing in the studio, I was outside a bar for 2 hours. 2 hours, Nicole. Just standing there, thinking one drink might stabilize me, calm me, quiet everything down. Nicole stared at him, horrified, heartbroken. Keith. He laughed, a small broken sound. He whispered, You didn't even call. I could have walked inside, and you would have said it wasn't your fault. A tear slipped down Nicole's cheek. Why didn't you tell me? Because you didn't notice. And once I knew you didn't notice, I didn't know how to tell you. She sank onto a chair. You should have told me, she whispered. You would have judged me. She looked up sharply. I have never judged you. No, he said softly.
You've just looked at me like I'm made of glass. Do you know how humiliating it is to be a man your wife handles like a fragile object? She closed her eyes. Keith. Just say it, he said. Say you don't trust me to stay sober. That's not fair. It's true. No, she whispered. I don't trust you to stay honest with me. That destroyed him.
He sat down opposite her, hands covering his face. "I'm terrified of losing you," he whispered. Nicole whispered back, "And I'm terrified of losing myself." They both inhaled sharply at the same time. Two people drowning in the same room. Two people who couldn't save each other because they were using opposite strokes. And then Nicole said the sentence that would later become the weapon tabloids would kill for if they ever heard it. "I don't know if our love is compatible with our survival." Keith looked up slowly, and for the first time in years, he had nothing to say, nothing to defend, nothing to claim, nothing to fight for. Because somewhere deep down, he knew she wasn't wrong. For a long moment, neither of them moved. Keith sat hunched forward, fists pressed against his mouth. Nicole sat across from him, spine straight, hands trembling in her lap. Two statues sculpted out of fear and pride. Then Keith whispered the question no spouse should ever ask. "Are we done?" Nicole's breath cracked in her chest. "No," she whispered, "but we're not okay." His eyes glistened. "I know." She swallowed hard. "Keith, I need to tell you something, and I don't know how you'll take it." He flinched, but nodded. "Say it." Nicole closed her eyes. "I'm not sure I ever learned how to love you without guilt." He stared at her. "What does that mean?" She forced herself to meet his gaze. "It means I fell in love with you at your most vulnerable."
When you needed saving, when you needed anchoring, when you needed someone stronger than you. He blinked, stunned. And then, she whispered, "You healed. You got whole. You got strong. And I didn't know what to do with you anymore." Keith's heart cracked open. "You loved me broken," he whispered. She shook her head fiercely. "No, I loved you honest, raw, real. I loved the you who didn't hide behind performance, the you who asked for help, the you who wasn't afraid to fall apart." His voice was barely audible. "And when I stopped falling apart," she finished, "I didn't know where I fit." A single tear slipped down Keith's face. "You should have told me." "I was ashamed," she said. "I didn't want to be the woman who only knows how to love in crisis." Keith exhaled shakily. "And what about now?" Nicole's voice trembled. "Now, I don't know who I am in this marriage anymore. I don't know what role I'm supposed to play. I don't know what version of me you even want." Keith shook his head violently. "I don't want a version. I want you." "But you don't know who that is," she whispered. He stared at her, really stared, and realized something he'd been avoiding for years. She was right. He didn't know. He didn't know when she was real and when she was acting. He didn't know when she was calm and when she was numb. He didn't know when she was protecting herself or protecting him. He didn't know her, not the way he convinced himself he did. And that realization terrified him, but he wasn't ready to surrender, not yet. Then Keith said something he had never admitted to anyone, not his therapist, not his friends, not even himself. "I've been jealous of your strength." Nicole's eyes widened. "What?" He looked away. "You walk through storms like you've memorized the route. You break quietly. You fix yourself silently. You hold dignity like a shield. And I've always been transparent, messy, emotional, too intense. Nicole stared at him in disbelief. Keith, he whispered, I thought if I stayed steady, you'd trust me enough to lean on. But instead, it made you step back. No, it did, he insisted. Every time I tried to be the stable one, you got colder, more distant, more unreachable. That's not why I got distant. He looked up sharply. Then why? She hesitated, then said something that changed everything. Because sometimes your stability felt like a performance, too. Keith recoiled as if she'd stabbed him. What? Nicole's eyes filled. You tried so hard to be the perfect husband, the redeemed man, the example for sobriety, the gentle partner, the man who overcame everything. And I appreciated it. I admired it. But it didn't feel real. It felt rehearsed. Keith's voice broke. You think my sobriety is an act? No, never. That's not what I mean. I mean, the way you talk to me when you're afraid, you hide it under kindness, under patience, under softness, but it's still hiding. He stared at her devastated. You think I'm fake? She said gently, I think you're terrified of being unlovable. That hit him harder than anything she'd said all night. Keith whispered, I thought loving you would make me enough. Nicole whispered, and I thought loving you would make me whole. They both inhaled sharply, at the same time, as if struck by lightning, because that was the actual truth. Not the fight, not the accusations, not the mistakes. The truth was that they had been loving each other for the wrong reasons, hoping the other would fill the holes they were too scared to look at. Keith's voice trembled. So, what now? Nicole wiped her face. I don't know. He reached for her hand. She didn't pull away, but she didn't lean in either. And that subtle in-between hurt even more than rejection. Am I losing you? He whispered. Nicole closed her eyes. I don't want to leave, she said softly, but I don't want to disappear either. Keith swallowed. So we stay? We try, she said, but we stop pretending. How? You stop performing strength, she whispered, and I stop performing calm. He inhaled sharply. What if the real us is worse? Nicole whispered, then at least it's real. They fell silent. Then Keith said the most honest, painful thing he'd ever said. I've been afraid of your silence for years, because I thought silence meant you didn't love me. Nicole took his hand. Her voice broke. My silence meant I didn't know how to ask for help without feeling like I was failing you. He exhaled, a long, shaking breath, and for the first time in years, they weren't husband and wife trapped in roles. They were two wounded people sitting in the wreckage of a marriage they finally dared to look at honestly. Not beautiful, not glamorous, not cinematic, raw, ugly, real. Keith whispered, if we're going to fix this, you can't disappear on me again. Nicole whispered back, and I can't drown you in your need for reassurance. They nodded, a small, fragile agreement, a starting point, but nowhere near a solution, because then Nicole said, I don't want to sleep in the same room tonight. Keith closed his eyes. It took him 10 seconds to respond. Okay, he whispered. It wasn't anger. It wasn't punishment. It wasn't distance. It was honesty, raw and necessary. Nicole pressed her forehead to his for a brief, trembling moment. I love you,
she whispered. I love you too, he breathed. They didn't kiss, they didn't cling, they simply let each other breathe for the first time in years. And when she walked away, up the stairs to the guest room, Keith didn't follow. He stayed at the kitchen table, staring at a marriage that finally had no secrets left. And realizing that truth, once spoken, doesn't heal, it exposes, and only then can you decide whether to rebuild or walk away.